Speaking of a forecast of wisdom, what do you know about this whole snow on the mountains situation?
I know you're excited about it.
Oh, I'm so excited,
She's
Ben.
so into snowboarding.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing to do in the entire world.
Alpental was posting some pictures of some snowfall out there.
Yeah.
It's still a little early, and I will say the snow that has fallen probably is not going to stick around for very long, but these cool temperatures the next couple of mornings will be here. I have a couple of numbers I wanted to share comparing temperatures. So 42 degrees is the average low for November the 6th. And guess what? That's tonight's forecast. So tonight's temperatures, what you wake up to early tomorrow morning, is going to feel like what it's like during the first week of November. So the calendar, or Mother Nature's, about a month and a half ahead of schedule at least. But temperatures will eventually warm up. Just the next couple of mornings are going to be on the cooler side. A couple of stray showers, most of which are in the foothills and up in the mountains right now. Still snowing out towards Spokane, although they're seeing just a little bit of light accumulation there. Eastern part of the state is where more of the wintry weather is. Winter weather advisory from Spokane through the Ritzville area as well as the Waterville area, and these purple areas, eastern slopes of the central and southern Cascades through Sunday with 3 to 8 inches of snowfall. Now the Spokane area probably again only looking at a couple inches of snow. The 3 to 8 inches is mainly for elevations above 4,000 feet. The pink counties you see here, the northeast mountains as well as the eastern slopes of the North Cascades, winter storm warning also through Sunday. Those are where the higher snowfall totals are, 5 to 14 inches of snow, but again a foot or more you got to head above about 4,500 feet. So places in the North Cascades Highway, the Enchantments, probably seeing some significant snowfall. So just something to bear in mind for any backcountry travelers over the next day and a half or so. A couple of chilly nights ahead, maybe a little bit of light snowfall at Stevens Pass, maybe another inch or two of snowfall up there. I think the passes are going to be okay traveling. We have a dry and cool start to the work week. I think the sunshine is going to be returning Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but temperatures are still going to stay on the cooler side. Tomorrow, we only warm into the 50s. Similar case on Monday, lower 60s Tuesday and Wednesday. So even with the sunshine, temperatures aren't really warming up a whole lot. Let's take a look at our forecast radar and wind because it was breezy earlier today. Bellingham had wind gusts over 40 miles per hour briefly early this afternoon. It still is going to be breezy over the next 24 hours or so. But notice most of the wet weather is actually going to stay either up in the mountains or in eastern Washington. So tomorrow should be a dry day, partly sunny, and again, temperatures on the cooler side only topping the mid to upper 50s. And by the way, the Mariners play their last game of the season at home against the A's. It's going to be a very crisp fall day for baseball. Temperatures again starting off around 54 degrees. First pitch is just after noon tomorrow. So your 7-day forecast actually fairly dry, very fall-like. Sunshine Monday and Tuesday. Not a whole lot of warming in the forecast, and our next rain chance arrives Wednesday night into Thursday. Some showers as we wrap up the work week. And not much of a warming trend, so enjoy these cooler temperatures. They're going to be around for a while. Great for the wood stoves, firing those up for the first time.
Yeah, I love the weather today. Felt very fall.
Yeah.
Very appropriate. All right, Ben, thank you.